In this section, we'll look at how to multiply things when we don't just have a monomial times a monomial. So in this case, this first example, we just want to distribute. We want to take that 3w times everything. So just, at least for the first time, we'll write it out. So we have 3w times 2w squared plus 3w times 3w plus 3w times a negative 9. So we're taking each of these things, this is a plus here, positive, multiplying 3w times it. We practiced this in the last section. So we have 3 times 2 gives us 6. This is 1w times 2 w's, which gives us 3 w's. 3 times 3 is a positive 9, so we'll have plus 9. This is 1w and another w, which gives us w to the second. This is 3 times a negative 9, so we have negative 27, and just 1w. So this is my answer. Now in this situation, we're going to distribute still. We want to take this x times everything inside of here. So I'm going to write that out. We're going to take x times x plus 5. And then we're going to take this plus 4 times everything inside of here. We're just distributing. We're just going to distribute the x first and then the 4. So x times x gives us x squared, or 2x's. X times 5 we write as 5x. 4 times x we write as 4x. And then 4 times 5 is 20. Now we have some like terms here. We have a 5x and a 4x, so we can put those together. We're still going to write our x squared first. 5x plus 4x is 9x plus 20. Some people talk about the FOIL, or foiling, the FOIL method. This is a way that some people use to remember how to multiply a binomial times a binomial. F stands for first, O stands for outer, I stands for inner, and L stands for last. And we'll use that on this next example. So F stands for first, so that means we're going to take x times x, and we get x squared. And then O stands for outer, so we're going to take that x times that 3, and we get 3x. I stands for inner, so we get 6 times x, which is 6x. And L stands for last, 6 times 3, which is 18. If you draw your lines in those shape, the first and the outer, inner, and the last, then you get sort of a little smiley face picture. That's how you know you've got everything. These are like terms, so we can put these together. And that's our answer. Okay, so remember that this exponent of 2 really just means that we have this there 2 times. So this is another multiplication problem. Binomial times a binomial. So we're going to take this x and we're going to multiply it by this x, which gives us x squared. Then we're going to take that same x and multiply it by the minus 8, so we get minus 8x. Then we're going to take this minus 8 and we're going to multiply it by this x, which is minus x. And then we're going to take that minus 8 times this minus 8, and we get plus 64. Combine our like terms, we get x squared minus 16x plus 64. This is the same idea. We still want to take this x and multiply it by everything inside of these parentheses. So we'll take x times x, which is x to the third, x times x squared, sorry, that gives us 3x's. And then x times 3x, which is 3x squared. And then x times 1, which is just x. And then we're going to do the same thing with this negative 2. We're going to do it times everything. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times a negative 3x is negative 6x. And negative 2 times a positive 1 is a negative 2. And then we go back and we combine anything we can. This is our biggest exponent, so we want to put it first. And then here's an x squared, and here's an x squared. So we have 3x squared minus 2x squared is a positive 1x squared. And then here we have an x, and here we have an x. So it's plus 1x minus 6x, which gives us minus 5x. And then there's nothing else that just doesn't have an x, so we're just going to write minus 2 on the end. Sometimes it's easier again to do a vertical format, do it up and down. We're multiplying these, and this works a lot like that long multiplication that you did in elementary school. So we're going to start with this 7, and we're going to multiply this 7 times everything above it. So 7 times 6 is 42, positive, so we'll put a plus sign in front of it. And then we do 7 times a negative 4 is a negative 28, there's an x. And then 7 times x squared is 7x squared. Then we're going to take this x times everything. So x times 6 is 6x, but we're not going to put it in the far right, we're going to put it under the other x. It's positive, so we'll put a plus in front of it. And then x times a negative 4x is a negative 4x squared. And then x times x squared is x to the third. And then we already have our like terms lined up and down, so we just add them together. This x third isn't with anything, so it's just going to stay in front. Then we have 7x squared minus 4x squared, which is a positive 3x squared. And minus 28 plus 6 is minus 22. And there's nothing to go with the 42, so we just put plus 42. And that's our answer.